Your brain will validate all of your beliefs, whether they are right or wrong. And let me repeat that one more time because this is going to give you a clue, a huge clue in understanding how to really strengthen your belief system to attain virtually anything that you want in your life. Again, your brain will validate all of your beliefs, whether they are right or wrong. So this is a drawing of a brain. All right, we got all the squiggly stuff in there. And we have negative thoughts and we have positive thoughts. Hey, it's Gary Coxe. If you have not subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe below. I'd certainly appreciate that. If you're watching this live, give me a 1 in the comments. If you're watching this on a replay, give me a 3 in the comments, as I would love to acknowledge you. Again, your brain will validate all of your beliefs, whether they are right or wrong. I am a fan of shows like American Idol and America's Got Talent. Love those shows. And I'm always amazed to watch when somebody who's really, really talented gets in front of the judges. They seem a little timid, a little shy, and they're questioning why they're even there. And then as they progress, what happens? Their whole personality changes. They stand up differently. They're more confident. And I want to share with you subconsciously how this happens, so that if you can be consciously aware of what's going on in your brain and your thought process, you can move along a lot faster based on figuring out what's the belief that you need to be buying or adopt to get toward your goals. Because all the results that you get in your life are based on your belief system and also your value system. But we're going to focus heavily on beliefs today. So I'm watching this one girl, I think her name is Emmy Russell. Very, very beautiful girl, excellent voice, just a beautiful voice. And you'll see in the beginning, if you've ever watched the shows, she's very, very shy. And I want you to think about anything that you know you want to succeed, but you're just not 100% there mentally. So here's what happens. You get a negative thought, and the negative thought says, I don't know if I should do this, I'm not good enough, or I don't have the skills, or there's other people who are more talented than I am. And your brain goes, boop, validates it. And here's how it validates it. You validate it by, if you say something like, well, there's other people that have more talent than I do. The moment you say that and your brain focuses on that thought and you hear or see somebody that you go ahead and say, you see, that person has more talent or skill than I do, all of a sudden you have allowed that to validate that, oh, there's other people that have more skills than I do, and then maybe I shouldn't do this either. But your friends, your passion, your desire, whatever it is, you decide you're going to ignore this thought, even though you've already validated it, and then you're going to go on stage. We'll use this girl as an example, or these shows as an example. You go on stage and you sing, and all of a sudden people are cheering like crazy. They're clapping, standing ovation. What happens now? Boom, huge validation. In fact, that validation becomes so huge, what does it do to this? It suppresses those thoughts that you had that maybe you couldn't do this. Or, there's other people more talented than you realize, because now all these people are clapping and cheering for you. Your brain will validate all of your beliefs, whether they are right or wrong. Now you go, oh, well, wait a minute. Maybe I am good enough. Maybe I can do this. Now, here's the challenge. If you let too much time go between the time you get this huge validation, if you wait too long to get back on stage, we'll use this as an example. If you wait too long, what happens? All this negative stuff will start to creep in. And then you will forget what this feeling was like if you're not careful. So the key is, that is why momentum and success are very, very important. When you have something like this happen that validates your belief that you are good at what it is that you do have the skills, that you do have the talent, you need to take that momentum now and you need to go do something again and do something again, so you can continue to have that validation, even though while you're moving with momentum, you might have a little bit of this. And what happens now, because you have these normal negative thoughts. Yeah, maybe this was just a one-time thing. Or then you read something on social media, man, you really suck at what you do, and some people are criticizing you. Then if you're not careful, you'll start buying into the negative, and you will forget this major standing ovation and all the screams and all the people telling you how amazing you were. I know from time to time I'll get a message from somebody on social media. Gary, I met you 20 years ago and you changed my life. And all of a sudden, boom, this validation of my ability to help people grows and grows and grows. And it's that type of thing that you need. Then you build up on that momentum and you go out and stretch again. And you go out and stretch again, because every time you stretch, what the normal tendency is for many of us is some of that negative stuff will start to come into play. So that's the importance of getting your beliefs and your strengths validated. Continue the momentum by stretching again and doing it over and over again, so it continues to validate that you are good at this. Your brain will validate all of your beliefs, whether they are right or wrong. So if you believe that they are right, if you believe that you're able to do this and you keep doing it, you're going to get validation either by yourself or other people. But if you don't continue to do it, even though this negative stuff is creeping up in your mind, it will have a tendency to expand more, because you're doing less of things to allow your brain to validate the positive outcomes. Does that make sense? This is so powerful. I want you to be thinking about this throughout your day to day. Here's what I want you to be thinking about. I want you to think about how often can you catch yourself validating things that are right or wrong. Here's another example. If a person is a negative person, by nature, they're never around positive people, so they have this belief that bad things happen to them. You've heard this saying before. Here's a typical example. If it ain't one thing, it's what? It's another. Now, if you buy into that belief, your brain will what? Validate all of your beliefs, whether they are right or wrong. So if you have a belief that says, if it ain't one thing, it's another, the moment something happens to you after you say that has a slight tint of negativity to it, your brain's going to go, see, I told you so. And now you continue to stay in this negative mode. Whereas somebody else could have gone through the exact same thing that you did, and it's just no big deal to them. They're not validating that. I remember years ago when I was going through a lot of problems, just the normal stuff in business. And I think I had a helicopter, I was flying a helicopter in, and the people who were there to film it, they weren't there on time or weren't available or whatever it was. It's just one thing that day after another was happening. And I said to myself, if it ain't one thing, it's... And then I figuratively bit my tongue and I said, stop. Because the moment you say, if it ain't one thing, it's another, you've now set yourself up with this belief system. And then the moment something happens again that has a slight sense of negativity to it, what are we going to do? We're going to stretch it and make it bigger than it really is. And we're going to use that as a way of having a bad attitude for the rest of the day. This is how you play games with your mind instead of your mind playing games with you. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. I've got a lot more. If you've subscribed to my channel below, I will give you way more information like this. Also, if you want to learn how to take this information and dramatically grow your business, in fact, one of the beliefs that I share with people in my online program, I do an online program once a month for a week. It's only a couple hours a day. But one of the beliefs I encourage people to buy into, especially if you're an author, speaker, coach, or an entrepreneur, is the ability to transform 1 year's worth of income into one event or one day. Now, how would you do that? Now, if you did not believe that, what if you did believe that? What could that do for your life? What could that do for your business? It could dramatically change it. So then what I would do is I would give you the beliefs and the mindsets to prove that that's possible, and then more importantly possible for you, and then share with you the strategies and what you would need to implement to start making things like that happen. So this is how I use this type of understanding in a lot of my training, whether it's in business or some type of one-on-one thing that may be more of a psychological thing. This is how we play the game, if you will, how to play games with your mind instead of your mind playing games with you. Okay, I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging. Love to see your comments below. If you've learned something, share it. If you just want to share something, would love to hear that from you as well. I'm out of here between now and the next time we get to chat. You know what to do. And if you don't, you do now. Don't let others rent space in your head. Have an awesome day.